The following program, The Lightning Strike, is sponsored by Mohammed Fahim, and to the extent applicable, their guests. The views and opinions expressed therein do not necessarily reflect those of NewsWeb Radio Company or its management.
Get ready to be jolted out of the ordinary and into a world where conversations are charged with intensity and facts. The Lightning Strike Talk Radio with your host, Mohammed Fahim, broadcasting live from the heart of the city on Chicago's Progressive Talk Radio, WCPT 820 AM. Welcome to a radio show that charges through the airwaves with an electricity like no other. Here's your host, Mohammed Fahim.
Good morning, Chicago, and welcome to the Lightning Strike. I'm your host, Mohammed Fahim. We are here every Sunday morning from 9 to 10 with me in the studios, my co-host, Ken DeLuke.
Howdy.
And Alderman John Arena.
Ooh, very formal this time. And we actually have Bill, the music director, online with us at the moment, too.
Good morning, Bill. Okay.
Good morning.
There he is.
So there he is. Right. Being in the music business, Bill kind of gets up late on Sunday mornings because he's probably out there Saturday gallivanting around town, right?
Well, he's actually performing. He's got an amazing... Hey, Bill, I think your band is playing, am I wrong, today?
No, it's not my band. I'm sorry. It's the M80s are at JMOS. That's where I'm going to be, though.
Oh, okay.
JMOS Live in Mokina on 191st. They're a great 80s band. Maybe I'll be able to get up and join them for some. I played last night, and it was a fun time.
All right. Okay. I'll be there for sure.
Great. Wonderful. Folks, if you want to join the conversation, the number to call in is 773-763-WCPT or 763-763-9278. Let us get the ball rolling this Sunday morning. We do have a lot of topics that we would like to cover, but it's a 1-hour show, so we're going to pick and choose. And if you have anything on your mind that you would like to share with us, feel free to call in. Again, I'm repeating the number, 773-763-9278. Our person of the week is going to be a phenomenal guest that we have, and thanks to Sheila White for lining up these great guests for her. Our person of the week this week is Sandy Red. Now, if you don't know who Sandy Red is, go and Google it. She was a finalist on The Voice for season 15, right? Or did she win that?
No, she won that. And she is amazing. If you Google it, you'll be able to see her blind audition when she did it. And it's like unbelievable. Totally blew all the 4 judges out of their seats. She's an amazing talent. So I'm really looking forward to talking with her today.
And a wonderful human being. She's got a lot more to her than just the singing. And we'll be getting into that at our usual time, around 9:30, 9:40. But meanwhile, we got the weekly news that we have to cover. And speaking of that, I have got Mr. John Arena, who is primed and pumped up, to talk about a continuation of the subject that we had last week, folks. Howard from Skokie had called in, challenging us that anti-Semitism applies strictly to Jews, and where did that the term came from? From Germany. Someone came up with the Judenhass But here's the thing, okay? When we talk about Semitic and Semitic languages and Semitic people, my point was that it applies to everybody who is living in that part of the world. Now, most of the people that migrated to Israel are European Jews. They don't even have any background from being born in that part of town or in that part of the world. So you go figure, man. It's not so much the anti-Jewish sentiment that people are expressing now. It is the anti-Zionism, and that is not Judaism. So that's where the world is at this point. In the United Nations, 194 countries voted to allow Palestine to join the United Nations as a nation. Only, 4 or 6 countries declined. Of course, the USA and Israel being the top, the 2 topmost countries even there. So, folks, almost 90% of the world now is realizing that what is happening out there is not according to our values as a humanitarian nation. We have to put a stop to this. But it all started off, Mr. Arena says, not with what is happening now, but when, John?
Well, let's put it in context. So obviously these battles over anti-Semitism go back generations. But I as I've been watching this and the conversation's been going on about who's saying something, what do they mean by what they say, and who's ascribing that intention to what somebody else is saying, has really kind of, morphed, in my opinion, out of events back in 2017 and actually 2016 with Trump's election and the kind of white nationalist, permission that we saw with, symbols in people taking pictures in the White House with the president holding up their hand in the symbol that the KKK that represents that white nationalist doctrine, and then we had Charlottesville, Virginia, right? So we have a couple of clips, a little bit of narration here, but I think it's important to kind of set up what happened in this kind of few days, 24 hours between August 11, 2017, and August 12th, and then up until about August 15th, August 15th. So let's go ahead and play the first clip, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Jews will not replace us! Jews will not replace us! Jews will not replace us! Blood and soil! Blood and soil! Blood and soil! Blood and soil! Blood and soil!
Okay, so what are these chants again? Jews will not replace us.
There's a couple chants, first, at the very beginning of that kind of mashup is them almost barking, right? Mm-hmm. And they're walking, these are all white men, as you might picture white nationalists. They are, the poster children. They're carrying tiki torches. It's night, and there's, they're coming for a Unite the Right rally that's supposed to happen the next day.
Okay.
So this is the precursor to this supposed rally. Okay. And it's all around, the motivation for that was all around the taking down of the Robert E. Lee statue and renaming the park that it was in. And this is offensive to them because, my opinion, a traitor to the country is honored, and this is something that was happening kind of throughout that period of our lives, if we can think back into that kind of madness. Mm-hmm. And, they were offended by that because that's their culture, that's their history. Now, if you start your rally with, first they're saying, you will not replace us, but the second, then it transitions into Jews will not replace us, and then into blood and soil. And for the history lesson here is, these were the messages from the 30s, the pre-Third Reich messaging. Blood and soil is the call for genocide. Mm-hmm. So this is what they're spouting. And then what happens then overnight? There's violent clashes. There was already going to be protests for the Unite the Right rally because what they were doing is just saying, we want to establish a white nation. Whether it's Christian or not, I don't know what they want, but I think they just more want the white guys to be in charge. So throughout the evening, there's clashes, spills into the morning. Around 10:30 a.m., the crowd has grown pretty big. There's police in riot gear. it's mayhem. We don't know. Everybody's hitting everybody at this point. By noon, the governor calls for a state of emergency. And then 2 o'clock, and this is probably something that people might remember, the guy, James Alex Fields Jr., drives his car into an anti-United the Right protester crowd, killing Heather Heyer and injuring 19 people. It is the video of this I watched this morning, and don't watch it if you don't have to, because it is one of the most horrible things I've ever seen.
It's a horrible video. I do remember that, yeah.
So now we get into, okay, what this is going on. The nation's watching, and the first response from the White House is Melania saying, violence isn't the answer. Be best. Whatever, but Melania, that's where we go. Then Trump starts talking, and he starts using this rhetoric of there were bad people on both sides, but there were good people on both sides. And then we get to August 15th. So this is 3 days after it, and he's having an interview. He's in a press conference in the Trump Tower lobby, and then this is what he says. Go ahead, play clip 2.
You had some very bad people in that group, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name.
So here he's saying, but they were taking down Robert E. Lee's statue. So this is the reason why you should be chanting. So for me, the tone of the country, where it is now, has a direct line back to what our leaders are saying and do say. So whether you agreed with Obama or not, okay, or agreed with Bush or not, how things are said and if there's an underlying decency to what the president is projecting, I believe that colors the conversation going forward. And by the president saying there are good people on both sides, by distilling down from blood and soil and Jews will not replace us, and down to a woman getting killed who he never acknowledged her death, right? I mean, the violence was so overt on that side, and a reporter actually asks him, "Are you equating the people on the left, right, who are opposing white nationalism with right nationalism on a moral position?" He's like, "Oh, I'm not talking about morals here." But that's what people are hearing when the president is saying there were good people that were committing this kind of violence and throwing this kind of rhetoric. It's trouble, and that brings us to, we go through an awful lot, obviously, in the last 5 or 6 years to get to this place where protesters, and we're only seeing this now in some of the coverage and investigations of the Palestinian protesters are peaceful. And it is the agitators coming in who are not from these colleges. And in one case, CNN identified some of these people, and their rhetoric online, now they're on the pro-Jewish side of the line, if you will, at these protests. They're the ones that are swinging sticks. They're the ones that are, and that's documented in video. But online, they're pushing out anti-Semitic tropes. Okay, so where's the real messaging coming from, and what are they? So every time what we're hearing is, oh, these protests are the ones that are saying all these anti-Semitic things, when it's really coming from the agitators who really aren't pro anything except pro white nationalism and want to stir this kind of hatred. So we have one more clip. Naomi Klein is a great writer, and check her out if you haven't. She did a speech at a open air Seder just a couple weeks ago in front of Chuck Schumer's house, and this is part of what she said.
I want to say to you this evening at this revolutionary and historic Seder in the streets is that too many of our people are worshiping a false idol once again. Yes. They are enraptured by it. They are drunk on it. They are profaned by it. And that false idol is called Zionism. It is a false idol that takes our most profound biblical stories of justice and emancipation from slavery, the story of Passover itself, and turns them into brutalist weapons of colonial land theft, roadmaps for ethnic cleansing and genocide.
Name that.
So that was her on Mehdi Hassan's show a couple weeks ago. So I think for me, what the dots that are connecting here is we are now in a place where if you are saying the clear documentation of the murder of innocents in such a scale with weapons from the United States, and if you say anything about it, you hate Israel. Well, that's what Zionism is different from Israel. And all Israeli, whether it's an Israeli Jew or Jews around the world, are not agreeing with Netanyahu when he says all of this stuff, any protest against Israel or against our actions and what we're doing is anti-Jewish, is anti-Semitic, right? Back to the original word that was in question. And I think the discussion has to happen finally, after some of the smoke has cleared here, about that distinction. And I think it's an important distinction because going back in time, rhetoric like this has been used to put people at odds because they don't understand the terms, and the terms are being co-opted for somebody's agenda.
Okay, so folks, that is where we talk about facts matter. And John has laid a very, very, very compelling argument as to what the actual facts are. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back on the other side.
Hey folks, did you know there's a program in Illinois that if you qualify for it would allow you to get solar installed in your home at no out-of-pocket cost? The benefit to you would be a reduction of your electric bill, possibly as high as 30 to 50%, and more importantly, you would take out the uncertainty of almost guaranteed future price increases imposed from your electric company. If you'd like to see if you can qualify for this program, call Ken DeLuke at 312-617-8979. That's 312-617-8979. Help us save the environment and change that electric bill burden.
Welcome back to the Lightning Strike with Mohammed Fahim.
Good morning, folks, and welcome back to the Lightning Strike. If you'd like to join the conversation, the number to call it, 773-763-WCPT or 773-763-9278. I got a scratchy throat today, so excuse me when I take a pause. Can carry on.
Okay, guys. Well, now that you threw it in my lap here, there's something going on, and if you have a good friend who happens to be in the state legislature, and this is important to me. I mean, I'm a solar guy. I think you all know that. At the end of this year, come December 31st, the net metering agreement that is currently in place with ComEd falls off the cliff. And what that means is for people who actually do go solar, they're going to have their bills go up by half, because where before they could just take advantage for every dollar for dollar credit on what's going on, you know, what they produce going back into the grid, they were getting credit for. That's changing. Now it's only going to be on the supply side, not on the delivery side, which is about half of your bill almost. So if you... And I don't know if this is even possible. I've been talking with people from the Citizens Utility Board and working with them to see if we cannot put some pressure on our local politicians to help change the situation, because basically this is just a gift to ComEd. So if you have people in your universe that have influences in politics, please, let's start a movement to see if we can't change that. Anyway.
Okay, so I wanted to come back to, again, how our politicians impact policy and also the nature of our country long term. I wanted to talk, guys, about Justice Samuel Alito, and the fact that he flew the flag upside down at his home. I don't know if you guys have heard of that or not. And then, as a very, very faithful husband, he blamed his wife for it. Okay.
Well, Bob Menendez, senator from New Jersey,
of course.
Guess what? It was his wife.
Yeah.
She had the gold bar.
Okay.
It's becoming a trend here. And I'm a little worried.
But this guy had money stuffed in his congressional jacket, or some gold bars or something in his congressional jacket. So here's the thing, folks. One of the things that we wanted to do when we launched the lightning strike was to hold our elected officials responsible for really representing the people of the district, not so much their funders and the interest that keep on putting these same folks up in office. So the very word representative is supposed to mean someone like you have an attorney who represents your values or your case in. So the attorney represents you, and that is what the word representative means. It is supposed to represent the concerns of the people in their district. How many of them really, really do that? If you look at some of the financials of these people who go into office, look at it before and after. Just go and Google it, okay? I don't have the time on a 1 hour show to really dig into it and let you know the numbers. But it's crazy, folks. And now we have a Supreme Court justice who's flying the flag upside down. What is that supposed to mean, John?
Well, it's supposed to symbolize that that this is an emergency, right? That this is critical. This is, we are under attack. So it, in response to the election of Joe Biden, to have a Supreme Court judge or his wife, depending on who you believe, fly the flag. Is that what he's saying? He doesn't believe that the election was fair, right? So he's denying an election denier, and he is one of the people who is deciding whether laws are constitutional or not. And we see the conflict, this is with Alito. We have other justices who have shown bias. One's wife was calling around on January 6th saying, hey, don't turn this over to the, in a free and fair election, don't do a peaceful transition of power. So that's petrifying to me. And it starts getting out the core of this ability for this country to run. And anybody who says we just need to unify under Trump and that'll fix everything, well, unify under our guy who won the election.
Okay. So here's what happened, folks. And even Representative, what's his name? Jamie Raskin has said that the upside-down flag that flew briefly demonstrated a very clear conflict of interest. And I'm quoting Jamie Raskin. So Raskin was on MSNBC's Jonathan Capehart show on Saturday. And he said that reporting of the incident shows that the justice understands it's a political symbol, in quotes, to turn the American flag upside down, adding that it's a sign of political distrust, like John just mentioned. So here we have a Supreme Court judge. Isn't it time that we rejig this whole Supreme Court thing? Don't make it a lifetime appointment. I mean, give them 10 years, maybe 20 years? Not
or increase the size of the court. I mean, there's nothing in law that says it has to be 9 justices. Basically, they should expand it so you have more of a nuanced opinion coming down with different, points of view.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a number of things. I don't think it's an or. To me, it's an and. We have to expand the court. We have to have term limits and an age limit because, we know that people start to ossify as they get older, and their opinions.
Look at me. I'm starting to cough.
This is killing it.
And Dylan immediately went out and put a mask on his face. Okay, hey, it's just some allergic reaction to these two people in the studios. So don't let that bug you, Dylan. Anyway, folks, the
That's
number to
based
call
on a true story, by the way.
the number to call in is 773-763-9278, and we talk about everything under the sun. So it's not bashing one side or bashing the other side. We equally hold our president also responsible for what is happening in the world out there now. You know, Israel has become a pariah state. Let's face it. Like I said, in the United Nations, 190 some countries voted to recognize Palestine, and what does that tell you? Okay, so anyone who is supporting Israel blindly are going to be ostracized by the world community. Why are we putting ourselves in that space, Mr. Biden? Come on, man. I've been asking this consistently. So with the election coming on, you kind of tried to massage the psyche of the American people a little bit, but then just last week he went ahead and gave another $1 billion in arms to Israel. Okay, now this is supposed to be for self-defense. Great. Who are you defending yourself? You are out there in someone else's territory. This is not self-defense. You're out there murdering people, and here we are supplying them arms and ammunition in the name of self-defense. The other theory that came up, and this is something that the administration is pushing now, John, that, actually, it is in America's interest because it is creating employment over here with all those, the factories that are making these bombs and stuff.
But we're making jobs, so it's okay.
Yeah, we are creating
my
jobs.
God.
I mean, look at the hypocrisy, folks.
Well, that is, it was right? Wasn't it Dwight D. Eisenhower who talked about the military-industrial complex after World War II? I mean, this is when you start justifying genocide using our weapons because it's making jobs here. That is the military-industrial complex talking right there.
Well, it is not so much the military-industrial complex. It is hypocrisy at the highest level of our government, and we need to hold them accountable. Remember, we started off by talking about how these people are representing us. If they are representing us and our values, I don't think the values are American when we go and kill innocent people. Okay. So Hamas is supposed to have 30,000 troops. Israel has got 600,000 plus reservists. It's not an equal fight, man. So you are using an excuse now to go and bash up innocent people. Almost 40,000 innocent civilians killed. Oh yeah, but we did manage to kill, 100 Hamas operatives. Give me a break. This is not what America is, folks. And we need to have a course correction. Elections are coming up. You need to hold our people accountable, okay? The bugaboo that comes in, John, is, if not Biden, Trump will come. Trump is going to be worse than Biden. Okay. Trump would be worse than Biden. We all know that. But how much worse can it get for us as Americans? That is the question I have.
No, I think it can get a lot worse. And look,
I mean, that's not even an issue right there.
Back to
what was it? 25? What was that?
25.
The Trump plan.
Oh yeah, Project 2025. Yeah. I mean, read that because that's how bad it can get, and that's off the charts. The challenge here, and I think to this discussion of how do we talk about the issues and redress our government, use our First Amendment rights in the way they're supposed to be used to say we don't agree with this, and government moves to where the people are. This is what we do in this country that is unique. And when we start vilifying through this type of rhetoric that we just talked about, anybody who speaks up against America hates America. Right? I mean, that was the joke me and my son is if you say something about America that's not good, well, why do you hate America? Well, because if not better, if not perfect, then we strive to make it there.
And that, folks, is what it is all about. It is because we love America that we are talking about how can we regain our stature in the world community as a country that loves humanity, that loves human values, that loves democracy. We are losing that now.
Exactly. To be an American means you didn't drink the Kool-Aid. Okay? You're just not blindly following what the orange God on high is trying to tell you. Basically, you have to care about this country. You have to care about what's important, and you have to do what's in your own best interests.
See, Ken, every person out there that I know of wants to come to America. Why do people want to come to America from other countries, folks? Because America is a beacon of shining light in this world that we live in. And for some odd reason, in the last few months now, we have allowed someone who is not an American to kind of come in and shut our lights down. And we are allowing it to happen on our watch, and we are not going to let it happen. That's where, John, when you were saying that we have the First Amendment right in this country, and we have got to speak up because we love this country. It is not something un-American to challenge our leaders and ask them, why are we following a policy that is creating so much discord in the world? Oh yeah, it is creating jobs in this country. I mean, that is the lamest excuse that I have heard for supporting killing of innocents around the world. On that note, if you want to join the conversation, 773-763-9278. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back as soon as possible with more news for you, and we're going to have Sandy Red joining us. Sandy is a phenomenal person. She is on a mission now to help others also through an organization that her mother started called as Mama's Birds. And we'll talk about that and also what Sandy has going on as soon as she calls in. Again, folks, the number to call in 773-763-9278. You are tuned in to The Lightning Strike.
Strikes again. So catch it in a bottle.
Are you a business looking for the right talent or a job seeker searching for your dream career? Look no further than the Center for Strategic Solutions, your workforce solution experts. Our experienced team at the Center for Strategic Solutions is dedicated to connecting employers with top-tier talent and helping job seekers find opportunities that truly align with their goals. We're more than just consultants. We're your partners in success. Ready to take your workforce to the next level or land that ideal job? Contact the Center for Strategic Solutions today at 1-847-306-9274 or visit us online at www.cfssus.com. The Center for Strategic Solutions, your bridge to a brighter future in the Windy City. The number to call is 847-306-9274 or send an email to info@cfssus.com. That is info@cfssus.com.
Welcome back to the Lightning Strike with Mohammed Fahim.
Good morning, folks, and welcome back to the Lightning Strike. I'm your host, Mohammed Fahim. With me in the studios today, Ken DeLuke and John Arena. Ken, you want to take up with Bill and see what Bill has to say?
Yeah, Bill, again, you mentioned at the top of the show an event going on today. Could you repeat that so people who are in the southern area of the Chicagoland can come and check out a great band tonight?
Sounds great, Ken. So I'll be there. A friend of mine, Dave, is in a band called the M80s. If you like M80s synthesizer type of rock, kind of the MTV stuff, they're going to be at JMOS Live at 2 p.m. In Mokina. JMOS is 10160 191st Street. It's a great band and great fun. So that's where I'll be.
And I'll be joining you. And, see if we can get Mohammed there. I don't know yet. We're working on that.
Well, no, I mean, I've got a couple of things lined up. Graduations to go to. today. So, and then we have got graduation parties in the evening, all kinds of things. People graduating, that means that there's a new generation coming up to lead this country. Hopefully they will get involved and come out and vote. We have got an election coming up, folks. If you have not registered to vote yet, please do register. Do listen to what we have to say, because we will be digging more and more into it as the election comes closer. We'll be exposing some facts about the candidates that are running, and so that you can make an informed decision. But please get involved.
Speaking of that, I just want to do an in-house poll here with the trial that's going on right now. What's your opinion on that?
Which trial? You mean about married people in general, that we are all under trial over here? Oh boy!
You're talking about
the dear departed
our
president,
friend in New York, sitting in a cold, dreary courtroom, completely un-American. How we could silence this man's voice.
Yeah.
Well, now here.
But he's catching up on his sleep. That's important.
That is true.
Here's the other thing. He's contributing to the greenhouse emissions also.
No, every time he opens his mouth. I think the sickest part of this, like, the guy needs to be on trial, and I hope he's convicted, because it's pretty clear through the documentation, in my opinion. We'll see what the jury comes up with. But when we have the Speaker of the House and just a host of sycophants lining up to talk about how somehow the execution of justice, as it would be against you, me, right, or anybody in this room or outside the room, where if you had committed these crimes and falsified business records, which his company is banned from doing business in New York for 5 years because of that very thing, like, we would be on trial. We would have to face jail time or fines.
Oh, we'd be in jail by now. Not.
And it wouldn't have taken, 5 years. But I mean, I think it's an amazing
to wear the red ties and just to completely go against the rule of law, and that's their job.
Yeah.
Literally, that is their job, the rule of law, right? It's like,
Okay, so continuing our conversation, folks, we got Sheila White joining us, and Sheila is our segment producer for our Person of the Week. If you would like to join us as a Person of the Week, or if you just like to call in, come as a guest on the show, feel free to go to our website, which is www.tlschicago.com for the Lightning Strike Chicago. You don't even have to put a W on now, okay? Just say tlschicago.com, and we will be happy to interview you before we can bring you on the air and see what you have to share with the community at large. Okay, Sheila White, good morning. We have got, hang on one second. Before we bring you on, Sheila, we'll take a quick phone call from Andy in Evanston. And Andy, we got 1 minute for you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for calling in. What do you want to share with us, Andy?
Hi, Mohammed. How are you and your gang doing today?
Oh, I'm coughing my guts out for some odd reason because I'm allergic to these guys in the studio.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I've been coughing in rage, too. We need to do something about this country, Fahim. Have you ever heard of the restaurant Chuck E. Cheese?
Yes, I do.
Well, they're getting rid of all the animatronics here at Chuck E. Cheese, and it's just really an outrage to me that no one in the country seems to care about it here. That's been my favorite restaurant for years. And now I go to...
We're finally getting to the real problems in this country.
I'm telling you, Andy. I'm telling you, man. Chuck E. Cheese, I mean, you talk about, McDonald's now. They have taken away one of my favorite items. So far, I haven't seen the ice cream cone at 50 cents at McDonald's this year. What's up, John?
I don't know, but where's the McRib, man? I mean, come on, let's get to the real meat of the issue.
Inflation. Okay. Andy, thank you so much for lightening up our day, man, and keep on listening. As the week progresses, as the year progresses, there's going to be a lot of items that we have to talk about. Sheila, good morning. Thank you so much for bringing in great guests on our show, and if you would please introduce our Person of the Week.
Good morning, guys. Our person of the week is the Chicago's own Sandy Red, who is going to be performing at the City Winery in Chicago. So we're excited about that. We're excited about the organization she has, the non-for-profit Mama's Birds. I just want to welcome Sandy to the show, give her all of this time to talk about the great things that she's doing and the people's lives that she's affecting. She's also one of the people that has performed on The Voice. So welcome, Sandy. Hi, guys.
Good morning, Sandy. Listen, we were looking forward to having you in the studio. I showered and shaved just for you.
He does not do that often, I'm just saying.
It was not my week to shower. So here I'm all showered and shaved and looking nice. You don't show up.
You know what, Mama?
I wish I could have been there.
Okay.
I really wish I could have been there.
Okay. So
I just had a grandbaby, and so I've been helping a lot with that. On top of getting 3 locations ready for this summer's run for my performing arts program, and getting ready for my City Winery show. So, but we definitely have to do a rain check on me coming into the studio, because I would definitely love to see what that fresh shower and shave looks like.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I look good. I look good. I mean, see,
I believe you.
My face is made for radio. That's why we don't do television. Okay.
You guys know this is being live streamed, right?
On the Facebook part of it, yeah, that's
they
fine.
both just ducked under the table, so I don't think they realize.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
So, Sandy, how come that you have such a wonderful, 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 beautiful voice, but not so much the voice part of it? Driving in, I was talking with my daughter about what you are doing with Mama's Birds, and what a great organization that is. Tell us a little bit about what that is. How did it get started? What do you guys do?
Yes, well, my voice and my gift definitely comes and stems from my own mother. She was an evangelist. She taught me, my brothers and sisters, all 8 of us, and all of our friends, a large portion of the community, how to sing. She would put on plays. She would put on different showcases. And more than that, she was a mother and a mentor to so many. And she wanted to start a school of her own, but unfortunately, cancer got in the way, and she passed away from that back in 2006. So I picked up the torch from where she left off and started the Mama's Birds Youth Organization in her honor. Even the name of it stems from what she used to call us and our friends back in the day, her mama's little bird babies. And basically the program in her honor is designed not only to teach kids how to sing, dance, act, do studio sessions, photo shoots, earn cash, celebrity guest speakers, all of that. We also even do volleyball programs and other different sports under the umbrella of the organization. But it's more so focused on mentorship through our gifts, because my mother's biggest thing was, she was a good and decent human being. She showed a lot of kids love that, did not otherwise get it from home in the same ways, and she inspired so many. And so I feel that it's my goal, my duty, and my dream to be able to follow in those footsteps and not just, pass my gift along to other kids, but also for them to witness the heart that I have and to hopefully send that heart out to the world.
So, Sandy, if someone wants more information on Mama's Birds, how do they find that out? Do you have a website or something that we can look at?
Of course, they can visit my website, sandyredmusic.com. That is red with 2 doggone D's doggone it. And they can also email mamasbirds program at gmail.com. That's MAMASBIRDS program at gmail.com.
Hey, Sandy, I want to give a shout out to you. I looked the other day on, I just Googled your name, Sandy Red, and clicked on the your audition for The Voice, and it just blew me away. So anybody who's listening right now, type in Google Sandy Red and check out the blind audition for The Voice. It's just amazing. It's like one of the best things I've ever seen.
you. And yet to this day, I still have one of the most viewed blind auditions in voice history. So I'm really thankful for that because it has opened a lot of doors. It's given me the visibility to continue along in the journey that I have, not just in my own music career, but to be a light and a path for our youth in that same vein. So I'm really thankful for the platform that The Voice gave me.
Speaking of your career, you just came back from Europe on a tour. Can you say what that was all about?
Well, no, it was a national Broadway tour. It was the 50th anniversary national Broadway tour for Jesus Christ Superstar. And it was a 2-year-long tour. And during the course of that tour, I got the opportunity to audition to play the role of Judas. And I ended up landing the role as the first female to ever land the role in that national Broadway tour. So I was able to, do that role alongside of some other wonderful male counterparts that were absolutely amazing, but to also be able to hit the same notes delivered in the same vigor, it was magical.
So, Sandy, if someone wants to get into what you are doing, how did you get a start? I mean, how did you land all of these great things? What is the process? Is it knowing somebody? Is it how did you market yourself into these things?
I think it's just consistency. It's putting yourself out there. One of the biggest things that I started doing at the start of my career when I knew that I had a strong desire to sing was doing every single karaoke I could find, every open mic I could find, and, just honing into my craft in that way on what most people would consider that beginner's level, that lower level of just visibility and getting yourself out there. And from there, people started saying, oh, man, she's good. Let's bring you into a showcase. So from there, I started doing a lot of free showcases, and then those free showcases started turning into folks seeing me that could actually pay me. And then those start turning into live band gigs and so on and so forth, and it just built from there. But it all started with me literally just putting myself out there.
So the Mama's Birds organization that you have, I'm looking at it. So you got singing lessons, acting lessons, studio sessions,
yeah.
And volleyball.
Yeah, is there a location for this that people can come out to? Again, I'm looking at the website over here, so I'm seeing that there's a registration page and all of that. Is there a location? Yeah. Is there a certain age limit that you have to be at in order to participate in this?
Yes, we do cover ages 7 to 18.
Okay.
And then also our locations this summer. We have a location in Illinois in the area of Park Forest. We have a location in Indiana in the area of East Chicago, Indiana. And then we also are doing a location in Texas, in Gladewater, Texas. So those are the 3 areas that we'll be covering this summer. Absolutely. So all they need to do is either send a message to the email requesting more information or hitting me up on any of my social media sites, Sandy Red Music, and me or one of my staff will get in touch with them right away to get them started and to answer any questions they have.
Okay. Sandy, once again, you are going to be at the City Winery. Give us that date again so people who want to come and see you can be there in person and enjoy what your talent is.
Yes, it's going to be on Memorial Day, Monday, May 27th at the City Winery in Chicago. I go up at 7:30, doors open at 6 o'clock. And when I say it's going to be one of the most incredible shows anybody has ever experienced, that is fact.
I'll be there with bells on.
Okay.
Yay.
And
I appreciate it. Thank you.
What time does the show start?
It starts at 7:30. Doors open at 6.
Okay, and there's a cover charge for that?
Yes. If anyone wants to attend the show, you can buy tickets at thecitywinery.com. If you just pull up thecitywinery.com and go through the shows for that day, you'll find my picture. I'm in bright red. And that's Sandy Red. That's red like the color, but with 2 Ds.
Okay. So, folks, we have Sandy Red on. Her show is going to be at the City Winery in Chicago on May 27th. Show starts at 7:30 p.m. And if you go to citywinery.com, you can actually buy the tickets online over there. So get going, get to see what Sandy is all about, and just the mission that she's on to help others. That is phenomenal. The City Winery is at 1200 West Randolph Street in Chicago. Again, that address is 1200 West Randolph Street, and you could also call them, I guess, at 312-733-9463, 312-733-9463, and get your tickets for Sandy Red Show. They got a bunch of other things going on over there every single day, man. So
yeah, it's a great venue. I've been there before. It's a really fun place to see live entertainment.
Well, I wish that they had some stand-up, comedy shows also going over there. Then I could go and perform.
But you would have to shave
Muhammad,
first.
I want to say Muhammad, I would like to say also that Sandy, her heart is so in what she does. Some of the performers and things, they sing and they grace stages across the world, but they're not necessarily reaching back, helping the youth. And so I think it's so important that she's doing what she's doing to help other young people, up-and-coming artists, to be able to get a platform, to be able to hone their talents, to be able to take it to the world. So you just have to commend her on reaching back to help others.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's so important. It's about giving back, okay? God has given you a talent. God has given you a platform. And if you don't give back, you can't take it with you. And we are all going to go one day. You know it and I know it, right? So
exactly.
Again, thank you so much for giving back to the community at large and just sharing the gift that you have. That is so rare in today's world.
I appreciate it. I feel like I was put on this earth to change the world, and if that takes me changing it one child at a time, one stage at a time, that is exactly what I'm going to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. Folks, again, our person of the week is Sandy Red, and Sandy is just one of those phenomenal people who has become a new grandmother also. So she's not just continuing the tradition, she's making sure that the generations to come are going to follow in her footsteps. So
they're coming through me too.
So are any of your family also in this, or is just you, Sandy?
Oh no, my family, my mother taught us all how to sing. So my little sister Liberty Clay, she is currently on a tour. She's playing Phyllis Hyman, and she not only won all of the awards here in Chicago for her breakout role as Phyllis Hyman, but she's been traveling and doing it all over the world. So she debuted at Fox Theater in Atlanta. They have dates coming up in New York. So she's doing her thing. My sister Michelle, she does a lot of performances around the Chicagoland area, and she actually manages, I want to say 3 to 4 different live bands that goes out under her tutelage, and she's a dynamic performer herself. I have brothers in California that have been doing their things in the music industry for years, so it's definitely a family thing.
Well, we'll have to have some of those people on our show in the future. That sounds great.
Absolutely, absolutely.
No, eventually, what we might do, like I said, there is a couple of things that I get involved also. I live in Plainfield, so we started a Plainfield Community Alliance about almost like 6 months back now. You know, once the tragedy happened in Plainfield when that little child was killed by this monster, the 6-year-old Wadi. So the Plainfield community came together to do a vigil for the child. And after the vigil, we had like 3,000 people come for the vigil. And then we said, let's carry on this of getting to know each other and build bridges in the community. So we started the Plainfield Community Alliance. And that is something that I would love to see in the other parts of town also. We need to get to each other. We need to get to know each other, and we can't do that just on social media alone. Folks, Sandy Red, our person of the week, you can get to sandyredmusic.com. Check out what she's doing, and especially the Mama's Birds organization that Sandy is helping to lead. Thank you again so much for joining us. Sheila, thank you for bringing great guests. Thank you, John. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Dylan. It's going to be one more week for us. We'll be back next Sunday with continuing conversations. You can go to our website, tlschicago.com. Check us out. See you again. Have a wonderful week. Stay blessed.
The preceding program, The Lightning Strike, was sponsored by Mohammed Fahim, and to the extent applicable, their